Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be providing a market analysis update on Theta token and going over my thoughts. So if you are new to the channel and you want to show some support, please leave a like and subscribe. So we have seen some sort of bounce here off of this low here. Currently the price is up about 34% from this low, so there is the speculation that we do have a temporary sort of double bottom in place where you can see how both of these wicks kind of correspond to just under $1. I have this pretty important region here in red around the 80-cent mark, and ideally for Theta token I would actually like to see this level retested, and this doesn't have to be an extremely bearish retest, but I would expect sometime in the next few weeks, if these lows don't hold, a retest of this red zone of support would be pretty ideal for price action, really, because it's kind of at this bottom here at 97 cents where there really wasn't a lot of historical price action. You can see how we just spent a few days around 97 cents and it wasn't really this developed area, whereas if we go all the way down to 80 cents you can see how we had basically we had 82 days of consolidation in this level, and if I zoom out here you can see how this consolidation period was following this pretty remarkable rally that began in March of 2020. So this is a very important level because it's kind of the consolidation that we saw before a continuation of this longer term uptrend. So naturally I think this is a magnet for price, and if we are to retest this I would expect it to hold strong support, considering how we have all this price action here that consolidated. This was the resistance, and then once we broke above it, we got above it, that was kind of the sign we were ready to continue the rally, and following the break of this we went up 219% in just the following 17 days. So for Theta, something I would like to see, again, it doesn't have to be exactly like this that I'm drawing out, but maybe if we consolidate here for a little bit and then come down, retest this, kind of sweep these lows, I think a spring, something like this where we bounce off of it, that would be ideally for Theta. And I think if we get something like this, I'm going to be a little bit more bullish, because we'd have sort of a different looking structure that would be a little more convincing of a bottom, because right now I'm not entirely convinced. So just to show you what I'm talking about with this low here, the reason I'm not convinced here is basically because how this has not been historically an important level. It just seems like a weird place for Theta to bottom, and kind of going back to this pattern, I'm going to take a bar overlay just to kind of illustrate how these are similar moves. You can see how these two wicks here sort of had this double bottom pattern, but ultimately we fell lower. This was not the low. And there's some pretty striking similarities between this move that we're in here and this one that I'm highlighting in January of this year. So if I overlay the bars, you can see how it fits quite nicely. They're just pretty similar in that we have this really weird level here, forming these two wicks here, sort of putting in this double bottom, and then sort of this failed rally to break out. It's kind of a range, and really they just seem like very similar price action, and I wouldn't expect much else from some sort of rollover and putting in a new low. And that new low I would expect to be around 80 cents. So off of the current lows set in place at 96 cents, that's only a 15-16% drawdown. So entirely possible and something I would consider. And if you're looking to develop a position in Theta, I would highly consider putting in some bids at 80 cents or so, considering how this has been support, and that would be another 16% off these lows, so a decent buffer. If we just go a little bit further here on this bar pattern overlay and kind of draw this out a little bit, maybe to this first capitulation, I'd expect something similar where we have this temporary double bottom, and then we consolidate some more, ultimately leading to a retest of this low here around 80 cents. So something like this would be a little more bullish in my opinion, because we would have much more confidence and confirmation in the price structure, and I would think that would be a little more bullish, considering how if we zoom out here, it just makes like it's a logical area for some sort of bottom. it makes sense for me to see how we could bottom at 80 cents, considering this was historically an important zone. Whereas if we say take 96 cents, really it was just kind of a 1 or 2 days of price action, and there really wasn't a whole lot going on. And if this is the bottom, then I would expect most likely it is going to be taking a long time to start trending back up to some of these lower highs. And really this is going to be kind of consistent with all of the altcoins, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, where it will take a lot of time for the market to recover and for us to see some sort of break of this longer term strong downtrend. Obviously, with the macro perspective and sort of the Fed being so hawkish, there's just not great conditions for the market right now, and you've got to go with the longer term downtrend. It is nice to see some bounce here off these lows, but I'm not convinced yet that this longer term downtrend has ended, because it really just looks similar to all the other times where we had pretty similar lows here, such as the January and February time frame. Very similar price action, and then you can see here in December of 2021 this price action was pretty similar too. So I would just kind of wait, I'd be patient, and I'd anticipate a move down to 80 cents where I would expect strong support. So that's the end of my Theta token analysis. I hope you guys did enjoy, and as always I will see you in the next one.